Welcome to the World is Listening podcast. Tell the world your name.
I don't know if I want to.
This is an impromptu interview right here.
I am Shauntaneka Brooks.
Okay, Shauntaneka Brooks. And tell the world, what do you do, Shauntaneka Brooks?
So.
Wait, before we go there, where you from?
I'm from the 252 Rocky Mount, North Carolina, the city on the rise.
Rocky Mount, North Carolina.
Yes.
You know, I went to school in Rocky Mount. My cousins, Andre and Arnell, lived in Rocky Mount. Mm-hmm. And I came and spent 1 year. I went to school. I think I was like, it might have been 5th or 6th grade. I went to E.O. Pope.
Yes, O.R. Pope. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Went to Pope, for 1 year. So Rocky Mount was like second home.
Wow.
So how long have you lived there, and when did you move to like Greensboro area?
So I lived in Rocky Mount all of my life, and I moved to Greensboro in 2018. So I've been here for almost 8 years now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a program that helps people that comes home from jail, right?
From prison.
From prison. That jail is different than prison.
It's very, very different.
Like jail is just the county. Prison is like,
right.
No, we need some time. Mm-hmm. And what does that program do?
So, first of all, my company name is A Perspective New Day, Incorporated. And then I have a Perspective New Day, Reentry and Rehabilitation, Inc. as well. That's my nonprofit. And so what we do, we provide housing to men who are coming home from incarceration. Okay. And we just provide them with just the stuff that they need, kind of take the load off so they don't go out and commit a crime again and become a recidivist. So, that's what we do. We provide them with housing. They don't have to pay for the housing for 3 months, at least 90 days. And then if they're doing good and just need an extra little time, they may be able to get up to 2 extensions. And so a total of up to 5 months max. And we help them get everything from their, the vital records, like the IDs, Social Security cards. If they need birth certificates, we help them assist them with that, help them get EBT. Some people need disability, and so we facilitate that as well. Just some of everything. We teach classes to help them just become reacclimated into society. Things like just life skills. You know, some people have been gone for so long, and so they don't even know how to really get in there and just say hey to people. Right. You know, because prison have their own language, and most people don't understand it but them. Right. And stuff. So so just trying to teach them different verbiage on how to present themselves and just to communicate with people on the outside. And so all that kind of stuff.
You said a big word. You said the word recidivist. What is that?
So you might hear the word, when you're speaking of reentry, you may hear people say recidivism. And just to put it in just layman terms, it's just people who are, in a cycle of committing crimes, going to prison, coming back home. And so when you're thinking about someone who's returning from incarceration, you try to put things together so they don't have to go out and commit another crime just so they can go back. Okay. One of the things that was brought to me my very first day with my very first client, when he got to my house in 2021, he said to me, Ms. Brooks, I'm so happy you opened this house, because if you didn't open this house, I was getting out today and I had made my mind up that I was going to commit a crime so I can go back and I won't be homeless on the street. And so, some people are just people who have a lot of issues and they do things constantly, but some people, they do it to survive. Right. And so that's what that is.
Okay. Can you remove your bracelet because it's starting to bang?
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me take it out.
Speak up just a little bit when you talk. Just speak up just a little bit. So what made you want to do this in the first place?
So, back home, I was a church girl back home. And, I used to talk to all the guys. Everybody, they come to me and tell me different things that they were doing. And one of the guys, he became my big brother. This guy named Levy Dunn. We call him Man. What's up, Man? He called me one day. I was probably about 14 or 15 on a Sunday morning, about 10:30. And he said to me he was about to kill himself. He was suicidal. And I was like, where are you? And he said he was at home. And I said, Ma, I was in the kitchen, ready to get, like I said, I was going to go to church. And I said, Ma, I got to get over there. She said, call Mother Bonds. And that was my godmom. She said, because that's too much for me. And so I called her. She lived right across the street. We stayed in the projects. The new projects, that's what we call them in Rocky Mount. The new projects, the two-story ones. And I called her, and she walked over there, and we drove to his house on Holly Street. And he stayed right across the street from one of the biggest drug spots in the area. And we talking like 93, you know, when Special Ed and all of them, New Jack City came out, you know, all those. It was that era. And so you can imagine how influential it was to stay right there at the store where all the drugs was, and seeing all your homeboys dressing and, you know, pulling up in the fresh rides and all this stuff. And you being the oldest and trying to help out your family. Mm-hmm. And his parents were both, you know, disabled, and he was the oldest of 4 boys. And so he, of course, he felt the weight, you know, of what was going on in his family. And so he used to sell drugs and do some of everything. And he had been talking about trying to just do something right, you know, stop selling drugs and just, you know, work a regular job. Right. But nobody would give him a chance. And so with that pressure on him and, you know, trying to lead and guide his brothers, you know, he became just frustrated, like so many others do. And he just felt that if he was out of the way, they won't have to worry about him. Mm. And it was nobody but God to let him to call his little sister. Like I said, I was 14, 15, and he was probably about 22 at that time. And so we went over there, took the gun out of his hand, and we prayed for him. And I remember riding back home, and I began to talk to God, and I was like, you know, I see the problem, and I want to be a part of the solution. And at that time, it wasn't no word called reentry. You know, it wasn't no reentry, nothing. And so I didn't have a word for it. I just knew that at some point in my life, I was going to be that person to help these men who are getting in trouble, just help to give them a second chance. Right. And I didn't even really know what that looked like until later. But that's when my ministry was born inside of my heart. Wow. And so, yeah.
How many years you been doing it?
Oh, honestly, I really started doing some of this stuff in 2008. Okay. But it wasn't until 2018 when I moved here, it really started taking form. And the layout of everything in the flesh, I would say, started happening because in 2008 I got locked up. And I remember sitting in jail one Saturday in October. And that whole day, God was just showing me a blueprint of this business. Okay. And, you know, when you locked up, you know, you got little paper, little pencils, and you don't have much, and you take cardboards, whatever you can get, right. You write. And so I was just writing down. And I saw my campus. I saw everything. I mean, he was just kind of really uploading it. And I was married at the time. And so I remember God saying to me, he said, your headquarters will be in Greensboro. And this is my exact response. I was like, Lord, my husband just said, we ain't moving nowhere. He was, you know, fresh out of the Navy. And he done traveled the world. He was like, I ain't moving nowhere else. And God said again, he said, I said, your headquarters will be in Greensboro. And just take a minute to clock that right fast, because where my headquarters at?
Greensboro.
And what is this? We're in my, okay?
That's right.
Okay.
The world is listening to podcasts. Yeah. Is in your headquarters.
In my headquarters. And so,
that's right.
You know, so he really spoke, and he made good on his word. And so I've been doing this for quite some time. And, and my heart was always been for the men. And like my father, oh my God, he was in prison most of my life. Mm-hmm. Growing up, you know, I seen him when I was like 4 and then I ain't seen him no more until I was like 23. Wow. And so years and stuff. Okay. So I have lived experience, you know, and then just from those who are around me in the communities and everything.
What'd you go to jail for?
The man, listen, some ain't do. Some ain't do. Is it true? And see that story right there. It's a whole story. We're gonna have to unpack that another day.
Unpack that.
Because look, that's a whole lifetime story, and look, book everything. Okay. No lie, we got to talk about it though. Okay. But honestly, something I really didn't do. I just had a lot of stuff going on. At one time, my daughter was going through something. My house had gotten broken into. Moved in with a family, and just so much stuff was happening. And then stuff was happening at my job. I was working for the police department. Let me say that. Rocky Mount Police Department. Yes, working for the police department. And we're gonna have to unpack that another day. Right. It's just so much, so many layers.
So you started that business about 8 years. What's the craziest thing you've seen in that business?
The craziest?
Where you said, I can't believe this joker just... Mm-hmm. You don't have to say the person's name or none of that, just the incident.
We talking about...
There's a bunch of them?
Man, we talking about men coming from prison. And listen, it's so much. But, oh my God. Where do I even start? Because I have so many things popping up in my head like this right now. Yeah. One thing, for one thing, I would say this. A lot of them, they're taught to how to manipulate people,
Right. Right.
And I've always told them, hey, listen, I'm going to know the truth regardless if you tell me or not. I said, I ain't just working with myself. The Lord be talking to me and stuff. But I had one guy, oh my gosh, just, he was drunk and he came in and he just was talking junk and just came in and decided he was going to go use the bathroom. But he just used the bathroom everywhere. And then went in the bathroom and just I guess he had bowel movement and just messed all over somebody's clothes. And the guy was in the shower. He didn't even wait for him. And so the guy get out the shower. He about to do his thing on him and stuff. Right. So, I ain't going to the bathroom, but my housing assistant did. And, it was just a whole big mess, man.
So this guy was drunk. So we're drunk. Clear. I'm going to paint the picture.
Paint the picture.
So the guy is drunk. And he goes and pisses and doodle all over the place while another guy is in the shower, in the bathroom at the same time. He comes out the shower like, who did this? And he ready to beat the other dude up.
Ready to beat him up. I mean, it was real bad that night. Wow. And that's just one of the things. But I got to tell this story right here. Okay. I get them, I get guys from age 18 on up. Okay. And a lot of times when they get locked up, sometimes they're young. Okay. And this particular guy, I think he got locked up at like maybe 15, I don't know. 15 years old. And so I remember walking through the house as I would do often. And I went past the bathroom and I was like, what in the world is that smell? So I'm, inspecting the bathroom, walking the bathroom. I'm like, what is that? Something done died in here. And they was like, it's your boy's socks. Look up there. So it was one sock balled up on my shelf. And I was like, nah, that can't be that. What this was, it's just impossible. Somebody took a dump, something, I don't know. Right. I go and get some gloves and I grab the sock and it was the sock. Wow. And I said, who junk is this? And they was like, it's the young boy. So I went outside. I said, hey, this is yours. He said, yeah. I said, boy, your feet done died. I said, what's wrong? He said, I don't know. I've been trying to find out. They just smell. I was like, do you wash them? He said, yeah. And what I have learned, I have to ask them to show me. Right. Because you can't assume that everybody was taught the way that you were.
Know how to wash and know how to do that.
Yeah. And I had to find that out the hard way. And so I said, so show me what you do. He said, I just get in the shower and let the water run. I said, ding, 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 ding. That's the problem. So you know my window location, right? I'm leaning on, I had the black car. I was leaning on the black car and I had sandals on. So I got my foot up. I'm like, boy, you need to put some soap on it. I said, you got to get that soap and put it in them feet. And so I was doing my feet and all this stuff like that. And so people riding past looking at me like, what's she doing? And so, teaching him how to wash his feet. Wow. And I said, if you don't know that, you probably don't know to wash your butt too. Is that too much? I said, so listen, it's not gay to wash your butt with soap. You need to get it. So I'm like, you need to get in there, you know,
Hey, somebody got to teach
right.
you.
And he was like, oh, okay, word. I didn't know that. And that really touched my heart because we're talking, he was like 21 then.
Right.
But he didn't know that. Right. And so I'm a realist. And so when I talk to the guys, it's always a lot of love. I always lead with love, some humor, some realness, right, and some love at the end. Right. And so I put it in a sandwich. And so what I did when I saw that, it really touched my heart. And so I called a meeting. You know, and just letting them know. I was like, hey, listen, guys, we got to talk about some things. I said, you know, most of y'all guys, because, you know, I had cameras in my house, so I can hear their conversation. I said, most of y'all talking about sleeping with women all the time. Mm-hmm. I said, do y'all know how you're supposed to properly clean yourselves? Right. And it was like, yeah. You know, they laugh at me. And it was like, yeah. I said, so, okay. I said, I'm going to be honest with you. Everybody need to make sure y'all are cleaning every part, everything. Right. You know, and so I be like mama, you know, or big sis to a lot of the guys. And you know, you would not believe how many of them, they might not say nothing in the group, but they'll come up, they was like, I didn't know that. Thank you so much. Right. You know, and I don't make them feel bad about what they don't know. Right. You know, and so that's another thing, but it's
and that's so deep. That's deep when you think about some of people's upbringings where there's just mama or dad is not there, and mama's working, and this little boy got a little sister or a little brother, and he gotta be the man of the house, and he don't even know how to be a man himself yet. Right. But he's raising himself, just doing things, and never actually been questioned of how do you wash up? How do you shave? Do you shave your underarms? Do you do this? Do you do that? Just simple hygiene stuff is a lesson. Yeah. And from that night, I actually went through and showed them, well, it was probably around 6 o'clock. That day I actually went through, I pulled the covers off the bed, taught them how to make the bed, according to how I liked it, you know? Right. Showed them how to wash dishes because in the dish drain, it was plates with food in it, and they said they washed it. So some didn't know how to wash dishes. Right. And I know it's so simple, things that we learned as kids. Right. But like I said, everybody didn't grow up the same way. That's right. And it's more often than not. You know, and so I went through it, showed them how I want the bathrooms clean, how I want the floors mopped. And so I took that and made that a whole little like life session of taking care of yourself and your environment and whatnot. And so you know, some of these younger guys, they just don't know, and they don't really care to ask because it ain't cool. Right. To ask how to do something that everybody else already know how to do. Right. You know, and this particular young man, instead of asking, he would get mad when he didn't know how, and he used to fight. He can fight now. Lash out. Yeah, he just lash out and like wanting to fight. Right. You know, but this young man called me back probably about, he just called me 6 months ago at least, just to check in and say, you know what? He said, I know I ain't do right while I was there, but I remember everything you taught me. And stuff like that. Right. In those days that I have, those tough days, I think back to people like this young man who called and say, I remember what you said. Right. Nobody ever said it to me like that. And I appreciate you. And I'm real big on telling my guys I love them. Right.
because you just don't know how much that heals. And so, and one person asked me, well, a lot of people ask me, if you could say one thing that really affects everybody that comes through your program, what is it? And I always tell them the transfer of love. And what that looks like is when they come in, we do the intake and everything. I say, hey, listen, I love you already. You ain't got to do nothing. I don't even know you, but I love you. And most of the time their reaction is they're like, okay, thanks,
Right.
But after a week or two of hearing, I love you, then it's, I love you too, Miss Brooks.
Right.
And then as you go on and they continue to do that, next is like, well, all right, guys, I'll talk to you. And it's, Miss Brooks, I love you. And I get to say I love you too.
Nice.
And so, so that's a very powerful.
That's a big thing because
Yeah.
that's something that a lot of people don't even hear at home.
Mm-hmm.
Or get a hug.
Yeah.
Stuff like that it's missing more than not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So true. So true.
That
So
is deep.
true. Yeah.
You got a lot of young guys look for love in women because they're missing it from their mom.
True.
And vice versa with the women missing it from dad.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah.
And you see, God done called you for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
It's
true.
true.
It's a lot to that. It's a heck of a job.
My God.
A heck of a job, but I'm sure the blessings that come with it, you probably don't see some of them. Because, some blessings are seen and some blessings are just unseen.
Yeah.
They're there, they just rolling.
Yeah.
And then, it could be snowballing for this day where you're going to need it the most.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that happens a lot, like one guy, 63, 63-year-old guy, he called me his little big sis, and I'm only 48, but he little big sis. And so he came to me with tears in his eyes one day, and he said, I never experienced love where it didn't cost me. He said, I love you always cost me something.
Wow.
He said,
now that's deep. Y'all heard that?
Yeah.
Wow.
He
said, love always cost me something.
Yeah.
And you gave him a love he never had before.
And it didn't cost him nothing.
Wow.
And, stuff like that, it really touches my heart because I've always told people, I just got so much love to give. And people who know me know that.
Right.
They feel it because I make it my job to let you know that I love you.
Right.
Not just through words, but through my actions. And so to hear this man say that and then to tell me, now, I don't know about y'all, but when a man say he feels safe,
right,
that's a whole nother level
right.
of everything.
They feel heard and
Yeah,
seen
heard.
and
Yeah, all of that.
Yeah.
All of that.
That's
So,
dope.
yeah.
And plus, you're providing a shelter. You're like the home. You're like the therapist. You're like, have many people fell in love with you, like really fell in love with you?
Well, I make it plain. Don't even look.
Don't even look?
You look. We not playing them games about these coins, okay?
Right.
No.
Right.
But no, honestly.
But it's easy for them to do that, though.
Yeah.
Because you're a female, a beautiful female.
Thank you.
That's providing shelter, giving them mentorship, feeding them. Like, you're doing a lot for them. I can see somebody falling in love with you.
You know what? Honestly, what I hear most, they acknowledge or, you look nice, Miss Brooks, or whatever. But honestly, what I can say is I mostly get, because of the way that I show love, it's like a mom, big sis, auntie, and if they have ever felt some type of way, they respect me enough to not say that.
So nobody never expressed it to you?
Not to me.
Okay.
No, not to me.
All right, so speaking of love, you also mentioned, you said ex-husband. Without saying who the person is, what happened with that?
My ex-husband, oh, man. Well, I would say this. I gotta look, folks. I gotta fix it up. This won't even planned, okay? Let me go on and put that disclaimer. I had no idea he was gonna ask me that question, but I'm gonna give it to you. But with respect to him, because I don't have any, I got no issues with him or his family. It didn't work.
Okay.
It didn't work. We were 29 and 28. I think I was his second marriage.
Okay.
And so I just think the lack of really understanding the institution of marriage played a huge part in it, as well as just, trauma from his past. His parents divorced, and it was a very hurtful thing for him. And so he didn't have that. I would say maybe he didn't have that example to follow, and whatnot. But we mad cool. Him and his new wife. Shout out to y'all. Hey, y'all know who you is.
So you're in a relationship now.
Skip. We skipping that, Rasheem. Next question. Skip. Y'all listen. This is how we cut up on the regular, okay? I done told him. We send Skip to the loo, my darling.
Yeah. All right, so here's some randomness.
Give me some
What's
randomness.
your favorite cereal?
My favorite cereal? Oh, my God. Man, it just depends on how I'm feeling. I love me some Frosted Flakes.
Frosted Flakes, man, old school.
Yeah, I love some Frosted Flakes. But them darn Crunch Berries, Captain Crunch Berries.
I'll tear some Crunch Berries up.
They do something to my spirit.
I like it. So what meal do you cook that everybody say, woo, when she make that, woo, it's crazy?
Everything. But this week, I baked a lasagna. I did a 5-pound lasagna with like
5-pound lasagna?
Yes.
And look how wide you said the pan
No,
was.
the pan is literally this big. And if I wouldn't have forgot it, I was going to bring the pan. I could have showed them.
Wow.
But I did a 5-pound lasagna.
Okay.
And my staff, I love my staff. And so when I cook, it's just me and, my baby. And so I don't eat a whole lot of food.
Okay.
I might look like it, but it's okay.
Now, when you said your baby, you're talking about your daughter.
Yes.
Okay.
My
Just
baby.
clarifying for the people.
My baby.
My baby.
But they ain't got to know the specifics.
Well, you just said my baby, but then you skipped over the other question if you had somebody. So
Right.
I had to clarify. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But yeah, and so like this week they called me. I got a picture. One of my employees called me, sent me some bones that chewed up because I had some lemon pepper chicken too. My cousin cooked cooked in the air fryer. Oh, it was banging. And that big lasagna and a salad, and I did some Italian homemade pull-apart cheese bread.
Okay. Pull-apart cheese bread.
Mm-hmm.
Pull-apart cheese bread.
Yes.
I haven't had that before.
It's something banging? It's banging.
Okay.
It's banging. And so that lasagna is fine. Everybody's called and said they loved it this week.
Okay.
So, but my lasagna normally hit.
So your number one piece is lasagna. That's what you're saying?
But I can't even say that because I cook like somebody's grandma.
Okay.
Like I do the greens, my greens be hitting, my baked chicken be hitting, them turkey wings be hitting.
Like that? It's like
man, that mac and cheese, the baked everything.
So it's like Thanksgiving.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. Yeah. Speaking of Thanksgiving,
I'm hungry.
Look, okay.
You done made me hungry.
Look. Speaking of Thanksgiving, every year I get my family and I get my guys, and I mesh them all together.
Really?
And yeah, sometimes I cook about 25 dishes.
Okay.
Everything, just so everybody can come together, eat,
So that's amazing
and everything.
because you're actually making these guys who felt separated from society for so long actually feel like a family.
Yeah.
All at one time. That's pretty cool.
That's right.
That's cool.
Yeah, my family. I have family come down from Richmond, from Maryland, Rocky Mount. Just somewhere everywhere to celebrate, and we'll pallet. Sometimes I get a big Airbnb or rent out a space, and we just go in and eat together. It's crazy, And
sounds like fun.
it's very fun because they
sounds
get
like
get to play cards and just give my uncles are there, my cousins are there, and so they become their uncles and cousins, and they just have a good time. No alcohol because we don't want nobody to go to jail.
Alcohol sends somebody back to jail.
That's right, and they can't do that at my house, so I don't have it with them. And so after they leave, if my family want to have their juices, everybody respect that.
Right.
And stuff, and so we just show them a lot of love, and
That's cool.
that's like a highlight that the guys talk about.
Do you do something around Christmas too?
Christmas time, okay, yeah, I used to do this thing called this big ball, and it's with a lot of gifts inside of a big saran wrap ball that's probably about this big. Okay. And the ones who have really nailed it and done like they were supposed to do, they get the opportunity at this ball. But the whole night, sometimes I just do a whole day where we play games, they win prizes, and I like putting monetary stuff in there too.
Okay.
Because that's a big thing for the guys, or gift cards and candy and gums and just some of everything. Like it might be some Ralph Lauren underwear.
Okay.
Where they wearing some roses kind, just sometimes slippers. You just never know. Just whatever I pick up throughout the year, because I do this throughout the year.
That's cool.
For this big time. And so,
Cool.
And Christmas is my favorite holiday. So I do the thing for my holiday.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love it.
Back to randomness. What's your favorite car?
My favorite car? Yeah. Oh, I don't even know. But I did just look at this. I thought it was pretty dope. I don't know how it is on the market when it comes out to performance, but I just looked at this nice Ferrari truck that was hot.
Ferrari truck?
Yes, it was hot. I saw it the other day.
That can't get my money.
I know, right? It was hot, though.
I can't, listen, I'm sorry. I cannot pay big money for a truck. Because, to me, like, even though you have Ferrari trucks, you got Lamborghini trucks, you got Rolls Royce trucks, you got Bentley trucks, I can't get that money to them. So truck, you know what I mean? Because to me, like the ultimate truck is the regular truck, like Ford, Ram, Dodge. Those are like the ultimate trucks, you know. And they go up to $100,000, but no, I'm not paying that either. You know what I mean? Like a truck like that, 50 is cut off.
Cut off,
you know what I mean? Right. You get 50. Anything above 50, I'm going exotic at that point.
Yeah.
And if I got the name Ferrari on it, it's going to be the car.
Okay.
That I can resell if I want to sell it a couple years. It's going to be hard to sell a Ferrari truck after a couple years because, it's a truck.
Yeah.
And, when you come, value is man-made.
Yeah.
So it's basically the people are making the value of these things.
That's right.
And when we look at Americans, the American trucks are the number one trucks that most Americans want.
Yeah.
That right there is kind of like an extra dessert that everybody can't afford. A $200,000 truck that ain't even big enough to put a sheetrock in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I can't do that one.
Yeah, it's hot nice, though. Yeah, they are nice.
But even making a truck 600 or 700 horsepower is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Who driving a truck that fast? Like that thing is not hugging the road like the Ferrari or the Corvette.
Right.
It's not hugging the road. It's just sitting up.
Yeah.
Going that fast, you just asking for a flip over.
Yeah.
Some point.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that.
But it's nice though. It's that baby.
I haven't seen that one though.
It's nice. It's at my at the dealership.
Okay. I thought you was about to say it's at my house.
No.
It's in the driveway.
Not this week. Not this week.
You got one of them exotic trucks now. I ain't gonna tell the world what you got.
Don't tell
them. You got one of them exotic name trucks. You know what I'm saying? They got speed and everything right now. Yeah. Look.
You gotta keep some stuff in house.
I know. Listen,
Kilo. You gotta keep it in house.
I get it. Look, I had Nikisha the other day, and I said something about where she worked. She was like, don't tell people where I work. I had to cut it out the edit. I went home and cut it out.
Okay.
So, antiques. You have any antiques?
You know what? Do I have any antiques? I got so much stuff. Listen, I got so much stuff. Okay. Something probably is an antique. I just don't know it.
You just don't know. Okay.
Right.
Do you like antiques?
I do like some.
Is there
Like,
something that you would like to have?
not right off.
Okay.
Not right off. I'm not a big collector or anything like that, but I do like those the old phones, like the old ones that sit on the floor and stand up.
Yeah.
I just thought they were so fancy.
Yeah. I got one of the phones that's the wooden joint, and it has the handle, but there's nothing to dial. You have to pick it up and wait for the operator to come
Right.
on,
Oh,
and then
man.
say, I'm calling such and such. I guess you
Yes.
had to give my address or something, and they connected you. And
Right.
they made the phone ring, and then they got off, and y'all two was on the phone.
Right.
That's nuts.
I remember, the rotary.
Yes.
You gotta-
I got one of those too. I got that.
Yeah.
I got the metal one. I
Yeah.
guess the metal one was like used in the military or something. Cause my mom's always had the plastic ones when I was a little kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually got a metal one from this antique state sale they had. I like going to those things. Those estate
Yeah.
sales.
Yeah.
So, what is a perfect date to you?
A perfect date. It just depends on how I'm feeling, honestly. I'm really a homebody when I get a chance to be a homebody because I roll so much. And, I'm good with a good dinner. Like, we could order in.
Okay.
Order in, just sit there, cuddle, watch TV, talk about our day. Or in the backyard. I got a nice backyard. So, maybe do a picnic outside,
Right.
maybe in a tent. I don't know, make it romantic. I love romantic things. And if I was going outside, take me to a nice restaurant I haven't been to before.
Okay.
I love music, so a nice jazz spot, a nice restaurant playing some nice music, a show or something. I'm real simple.
Okay.
Real simple.
Now, you mentioned music. Now, you sing.
Oh, Jesus.
What's up with those gifts that God gave you, that voice that you got that is nice? Why you don't use it? What's going on with that?
Hallelujah, God. I didn't honestly, everybody, back home, everybody knows me, and I used to sing a lot back home. I sang with this choir, Salvation and Deliverance Church Choir. Shout out to my peoples. And we've done some amazing things. We actually won the Verizon How Sweet the Sound Gospel Choir competition. And from that, one of our rewards were to be talent and sing at the Super Bowl 2012.
Oh, wow.
So we got a chance to do that. We did the American Golf Classic, Fox Family and Friends. And from time to time, we are called to do to sing at the Black Caucus Convention in D.C. And so it was just, we've done so much. And for so many years, it was so many rehearsals. And so, because we were always rolling. And so I just kind of, when I moved here, it's like, don't nobody know me. Don't nobody know I sing.
Right.
And so I don't sing, really, to be honest with you. Unless someone that knows me call me and say, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? I've had a few engagements around Greensboro.
Right.
And some back, home and whatnot. Some in different places. Like I said, people that know me. Mm-hmm. But, my daughter is the one that's doing the singing now. And she's killing.
But you can sing. So
Well, thank you.
you need to use that. You need to go ahead and put that album. Y'all put it in the comments. Make the album. Sing, Anime. Sing. Make the album.
Well, I've been writing. I've been doing a lot of writing. And a lot of people don't know that I write music. And and I'm not tooting my own horn, but you heard some of the stuff that I wrote, and it's pretty decent. And so, but I write, and so I guess at the right time, all of that will come into fruition.
Gotcha.
I'm not ruling it out.
Gotcha. Question: are you happy?
I am happy.
Okay.
I am happy.
What makes you happy?
Waking up in the morning.
Come on now, man.
When God started me on my way.
On your way. Come on, get it going. When you wake up in the morning.
Food on my table. Clothes on my back.
On your back.
Money on my left.
Money. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you.
But I'm known as a happy person, honestly. If you hear people describe me that really know me, I'm happy. I love to laugh, and I just enjoy life because I've been through so much.
Right.
And so I'm happy. I think it's God given joy,
Right.
honestly.
Right.
And when you have God given joy, any situation can be better.
Right.
And so my happiness comes from all of that.
And then you're in a situation where you actually see people that come from so much less.
Yeah.
And so many stories, so many hard things. You can't do nothing but be thankful and be grateful for what you got, who you are,
Yeah.
and health and everything.
Yeah.
Because you're looking at it every day. People come home with nothing,
Yeah.
and you are the provider of a resource
Yeah.
for them to get back in society and function properly.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's
Absolutely.
amazing. That's deep.
Yeah, man.
What would you tell the young person that's thinking about committing a crime because they believe it's going to make their life better?
First of all, look right here at me. Don't do it, baby. Don't do it because, there's a thing called, some people call it karma.
Right.
And I'm a true church girl, and so that reaping what you sow. And I don't know if y'all saw it on Facebook recently. There was a lady, I think she was 73, and they just got her for a murder that she committed. And no, she was, I don't know, maybe in her 60s, but she committed a murder in like 73, killed a young child. And she's lived her whole life and didn't think nothing else about it. And they arrested her. So they showed the clip of her being arrested. So at some point, it's going to come back to you.
Right.
And it don't always come back through the avenue that you did your due to,
Right.
but it comes back sometimes through people that you least expected. And so it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
How many people would you say throughout your 8 years you probably helped?
Oh my.
I know it's up there. I know that number's high.
It's so many because even all through my company, I've helped so many. Just out the random, I'm always trying to help somebody.
Right.
I can't even. Rashim, I can't even put a number to it. Honestly, I really, really can't. Not off the top of my head because I've always been a giver, all of my life. I remember getting in trouble because next door to me, I was the oldest child, and so it was just me and my mom. And next door, my friends, it was 7 of them.
Okay.
And so my mom gave me like 8 cookies. And I went and gave all my friends one. And I was always that one that if I have enough to share with everybody, I'll make sure everybody gets some. And I didn't just keep it all for me. And so I grew up doing that. And it has followed me throughout my life. So it's just so many people.
You just made me flash back to getting one cookie. Do y'all remember that? Do you remember when you got one cookie, like, here,
Yep.
and you had to eat that thing that was so good.
It was so
tasty.
good,
And you knew
yes.
you couldn't get no more. You was like, this is it. I'm going to bite this mug slow. And you just be like, and you know what's so funny? When we were younger, everything was like that. It was like 2 wings.
Right.
1 piece of bread. Here's a cookie. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But there's something to say about that because when we got in a position to where we can have all that we want and there was nobody over, what did we do? Overindulge in everything.
Everything.
No structure, no guidance,
Yeah.
nobody telling us, stop that. And then we all have sugar problems.
Lord, have mercy.
Too much sugar.
Yeah.
Why? Because we did it to ourselves. We wanted more of what we liked as a child.
Yeah.
And when we got, that's just like one of the first things. This is funny too. When my mother used to buy me Fruity Pebbles on my birthday every year. That was like a specialty thing. And then I would go to Six Flags, right?
Okay.
Man, when I got my own apartment, I moved out. I moved out at 16, but I got an apartment I think when I was 20, my own. Let me tell you something. You know how many boxes of cereal I bought? That joke was retarded. I had Fruity Pebbles all across the. It was like, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? Like, that's a heck of an example because it really shows that we really overindulge at a certain point.
That's true.
Wow.
Yeah, they say that about my shoes and perfume and stuff. And I'm like, but I just like it.
So that's something. So, okay, so your overindulgence, it was shoes and perfume?
Shoes and perfumes and clothes. But that's an issue that my grandma had, my mama got right now, I got, and my daughter, See, she ain't got to buy her stuff because we wear the same size shoe. Okay. I buy my shoes and I look for them because she got them.
Okay. So how many closets are being used with clothes at your house?
I'm embarrassed, honestly. So with my clothes, so in my bedroom, I have 2 nice walk-in closets.
Okay. And they're both yours.
They're both mine.
Right.
Then I have, this is ridiculous. I'm sorry. I have 3 guest rooms, okay?
3 guest rooms.
And my clothes are in those closets.
And your clothes are in those closets.
Yeah.
And they're probably somewhere else too.
Downstairs.
I know it. Look, downstairs.
You know, the hallway closets. I got shoes and it's ridiculous.
Wow.
And then I have some in tubs that I have never even unpacked. And a lot of my clothes, I have tags on.
Wow.
But I just save it for a good moment. And when I save it and wait for those good moments, it's like, good God
It's
Almighty.
right there.
Yeah.
I had these.
Yeah, I forgot.
3 years ago.
3 years ago.
In the garage under the dog food, and there they go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, how do you find outfits? Did you put a certain, my winter stuff is over there, or my summer's over there?
Yeah. Like my in my other closets, I have them separated, kind of like my dress clothes in one area, my pants are here. My outfits are here and there, shirts and blouse. Just I have it separated.
Let me ask you a question. When it came to the men that you mentor, what roles are you finding the women are playing in their lives?
Honestly, for some of them, provider.
The women were the providers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
so what made them go out and do crimes if they had a providing woman?
So let's take this situation. I spoke to one mother one day. Her son he's my age. He's probably like a year under me, and I like to talk to their parents because I get a full scope of what I see on paper, what's presented to me, and then the history from someone that knows them. And so I spoke to this guy's mom, and she said, honestly, I'm going to tell you this right here. My son won't raise like this. She said he had mom and dad, and she told me their occupations. She said he went to private school. He did everything. She said he had no excuse to be who he wanted to be. Right. Besides, he just wanted to prove that he just wanted this pretty boy. And so he started hanging with the rough crowd to prove a point, and then caught a murder.
Wow.
Yeah, and so, but she said she worked a lot.
Okay, now that's the mama scenario. I'm talking about girlfriend.
Oh, the girl. Oh,
yeah,
my God.
Yeah, like what role does the girl play? Out of all the different people, I gotta phrase it right so it makes right for the clip. Out of all of the different inmates that have come home and come through your program, what is some of the roles they said the woman played in their lives?
Man, You would be surprised at how many guys that come to my house, especially one of them, were caused their girlfriend got them in trouble, or and not I don't want to say they got them in trouble, but they were the cause. Whether it was they end up catching them cheating, and they retaliated. Some were on drugs and stole drugs and falsified information. It was just some of the stories. And now listen, I don't know how true it is, but I listen to their story, and then I look at what's written, and but a lot of them just were in toxic relationships. Toxic relationships.
Wow.
And if you have two people who are unhealed, those trauma bonds can be
deadly.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting to know, because a lot of people don't realize that when a person, sometimes, not all the times, but when a person goes to jail, there's a motivating factor behind him trying the crime in the first place.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're trying to impress a woman, or sometimes you're trying to get something from the woman, or you're trying to compete with another guy for the woman. I mean, sometimes there's an argument between other women, and the guy got caught up in the mix of some other guy coming to. It's really crazy. It's interesting when you see social media play a major part now in the youth dying.
Yes.
And one person died and one person go to jail. It's crazy how they argue. They don't even live nowhere. Like back in the day, you had to literally come on my block.
Come on the block.
For you to have any kind of words with me.
Yeah.
Or I had to come on your block to have any kind of words. If you lived 5 minutes that way, 2 minutes that way, 10 minutes that way, I didn't meet you.
Right.
At all.
Right.
But now you got people online beefing with people 3 cities that way.
Right.
And then they loading up the car and grabbing guns and coming all the way to your area to shoot at you because of this device that you was on.
Yeah.
Don't make no sense.
It does not, but that's what life is like now.
Right.
And it doesn't make sense. And back when we were growing up, everybody used to fight.
Right.
Don't nobody fight no more.
Right.
They shoot, kill somebody, then they back babies. And they cry.
Right.
And and then when they go to prison, because I have my nonprofit, I help men who are incarcerated and help them get like a second look at their cases and different things of that sort. And so I hear all sorts of stories they stay on lockdown because of these young boys.
Wow.
Who ain't got no training, and they call it demon time. They're on demon time. And it's sad to say, but it really is demon time.
Right.
The stuff that they're doing, and it's just so sad, all because of a wrong decision.
That goes back to the conversation we had earlier where you were talking about the devil's mission.
Oh,
the devil's mission. And when you're doing work for the devil, you are on his time.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
You have punched in the clock
and
said, hey, devil, I'm working from 1 to 4. I'm about to do some crime right now. I'm on your clock.
That's it.
And devil said, okay, go ahead. Go right ahead. I got something for you when you're done.
Right. Right. Exactly.
You ain't going to get a check.
Nope.
You're going to get something else.
That's right.
And a lot of people don't make it back from these ideas.
I'm sorry. I've met so many guys who have done so many years. And it's amazing to me to actually see how their mental is when they come back home. From all of this. And, like I said, I talk to their families. I hear stories about how this person was. He was a good kid. He was this guy, got caught up and, mistake. But now he's on drugs and he's just addicted to drugs. And, he can't live a day without trying to get high.
Right.
And speaking of that, I can't tell you how many men come from prison high. I'm baffled. Like, how do you get high in prison?
Right.
How? And so many of them have addictions
Wow.
that come to my house from prison.
Wow.
And it's just it's baffling to me. You know, I hear the stories because I got men behind bars
Right.
who tell me, and they put me up on the game. God knows they do. And so that's why I tell my guys when they get out here, listen, I already know.
Right.
But it's so sad.
Mm.
They lose themselves. Some of them, I had one guy that did 31, 33 years. And he was he didn't spend his time talking or praying. He just lived his life. And he was one of the worst cases I've ever seen.
Wow.
Mentally.
Mm.
And so he had to actually leave. We had to get him assessed and so much because he want himself. And then he had some family issues too that also contributed to his mindset.
Right.
And whatnot. But, I've seen so many come out who had a relationship with God, whether they were Muslim or Christian. And those brothers, they have some issues, but their mental is a little bit better intact when they have some type of focal point.
Right.
And they're just not doing time, as they say. But yeah, it's a lot.
You ever seen a case where you said, I can't help this person at all?
That one that did him 33 years.
Okay.
I think he had robbed a bank or something in a city close by.
Okay.
And it was too much. He ended up I had staff at a house one day, and he had got into it with a guy, and he pulled a knife out, so he was ready to cut everybody. And staff called me, and so I told him, I said, get everybody in one room, leave him in the room by himself with the knife, called 911. I'm on my way back that way. Right. And a lot of times, if they don't listen to nobody else, they'll listen to me.
Okay.
And I'm real big on my staff being respectful, trying to be respectful. You have people who are human, who gonna do how they do it, but for the most part, try to be respectful.
Right.
And but yeah, he ended up just having a mental break, and so we were able to get him committed, get him assessed, and he got medication, which was what he needed. Okay. And then we got him back with his family, which is where his heart really wanted to be. His mom, he'd been locked up for 30-some years, and so his mom, and I think her church or something, was really scared for him to come. But that played a part in his mental because he just wanted his mom.
Wow.
And so when we got the medication, we got a mom. He's been doing great.
That's good.
From the last I've heard.
That's good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Love go a long way.
It does.
Love go a long way.
It does, man.
That's big. That's big.
Yeah. It is.
So, any last words you got for the people?
Any last words? I don't know. Maybe I can say this because I help all types of people who come from incarceration, regardless of their crime. I would say just, everybody is worth at least a second chance.
That's good.
Give them the opportunity to prove to you that they're not workable.
Right.
Or they're not rehabilitable. You can't help them become rehabilitated.
Right.
But just give people a shot. Give them a chance. Some of my best guys are doing so well because we took the time to impart in them the confidence that they needed to go out and give the world another shot, because they have to give the world another shot as well.
Right.
Because everybody that got locked up weren't guilty. I've experienced that myself. Everybody weren't guilty. But when you have it in black and white who you are, it does something to your confidence. It does something to your mental. And I know for me, it took a lot for me because I was a good girl, and to see my name associated with something that I didn't do, but it was on paper, I got treated as if I did that.
Right.
And so I was, in a place of, I was suicidal. And then I wanted to kill somebody too. Because
Same time.
at the same time,
Right.
because how you treat me like this, I'm coming for help and you treat me like I'm a dog, because of what you see on paper. So I say, give the person the opportunity to show you who they are.
Right.
And then pass a judgment, because that's what I do. When I get the paperwork that someone's coming from the state, for me, I look at everything that they've done. Everything. I show it, pass it to my employees. But we don't make a judgment on the person until we find out who they are. How they treat us is how we judge them.
Gotcha.
And like I said, some might just need love. Some might need somebody to really be on them and say, look, you better get this done because this is your last chance. Sometimes they need a reality check.
Right.
Sometimes they just need someone to encourage them. It's just so many different things. And what I found is when we do that, we have some of the best outcomes. Some of the best outcomes. I got a guy that he traveled all over the world playing an instrument. And he was doing really well. I got a young guy, came home, 18, got in trouble when he was younger. Doing well. He was one of the first guys to move into one of my boarding houses. Had all his money. I was so proud of this kid, man, because he really put in the work. He just needed somebody to have his back,
right?
And to push him. And so just give people a chance, And some of the best workers, because they are hungry. When I tell you, most time they don't want to learn that. They just want to go to work because they have been without for so long. They just want to get somewhere and grind. And when you have them, they're committed, especially if they're coming and they have a mindset that they just want to get back on their feet and press on from this point.
Right.
So just give them a chance. And, if you need to talk to me, call me.
There it is.
Find me.
And the name of the business is?
A Perspective New Day.
A Perspective New Day.
Incorporated. We're on the web, www.apndinc.org.
There it is. Thanks for being on the show. I was like, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Thanks for being on the show.
You owe me a meal. Because this was not on my plan today.
This was not on the plan today. And there you have it, y'all. On the World is Listening podcast. Something you can feel. Something that's real. That's deep right there.
I like it.
Gets better and better.
Yeah.
Boop.
And that's a wrap.
That's that.